Hello. Although I try to minimise the use of power tools, sometimes weeds get the better of me. This big mess needs sorting, and we're just gonna get it trimmed because it's just gone crazy. I was concentrating on the new allotment, and the weeds on the crops allotment took advantage while I wasn't there. There was no way I could pull them all out by hand, so I needed mechanical help. And this is how it looks once it's been trimmed clear. So it's a good bit of clearing that has been done. And there's still some raspberries here, but it's too thick for the strimmers. So I have to thank my friend John for bringing his strimmer and doing this for me. He's really helped me out with this bit. Found this black currant bush, so I'll dig this up because it's in the way, and I'll sort out this border. I mean, you've got this plant here, this hedge, because of it nothing grows except weeds, so I'm going to put plastic down here and then put a big sheet of plastic over this and leave it till I've got the time to deal with it. But yeah, a big thank you to John. I'm out of breath because I've been putting some of the brambles out of amongst this lot. There's another blackcurrant there, and this is an autumn fruiting raspberry which I marked, so I tied a string around it so I knew which one it was. The others are all summer fruiting ones, but I don't think we'll get much out of them. It's not been a good year for raspberries. They have got some raspberries on them, so I'll leave them and see what happens. But some of these are getting a bit old probably. I'll try and give a few away at the end of the autumn, early spring. See if anybody wants some raspberries and they can have some of these, because I've got too many. There's also this young raspberry plant which is just on the edge of where the plastic's going to go, so it might be okay to leave that and just put the plastic there. I'll have to move that blackcurrant, but the rest of it I think I can plastic. I feel a lot better. I know John's done the work. I've just tidied up the edges a bit, but I feel happier. Right, I managed to dig up the blackcurrant, but it's got a lot of nettle roots and stuff mixed in, so it's a case of a bit of brute force to separate all that, because I don't really want to transfer the nettle roots to the other plot. Look at all that. That was all nettle roots. I'm going to go in that burn pile. So you can see that's got quite a good root ball on it. What I've got to do is get that into a pot quick before it dries out. Right, a bit of compost, and then hopefully try and get as much of the root ball in as possible, and just squeeze it all in. Make sure it's all gone in. Bit more of nettles. Right. Okay, so if I cover this with more compost, so that's done. It's already started fruiting, so I'll pick these fruits and I'll give it a prune there and maybe a little prune there, and then that can sit in the pot and I'll put it in the ground on the other plot sort of February next year. I'm going to do the same with this raspberry, dig it up, put it in a pot, and it should be okay if I get it in the pot quick and survive till next year. Right, so dig it out, and there's a bit of root on it, so it should be okay. This raspberry's in. I'm not going to prune it, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I think it should be alright. If it was earlier in the year I would have pruned it, but I think I've moved it within a few seconds of it being dug up. I've put it into the pot, so it should be okay. And I've got plenty of raspberries, so if it dies, it dies. This area now needs to be covered up, and I'll get to it later this year, but I haven't got the time at the moment, so I'm going to put some plastic over this area for the moment to cover it up. I've got this plastic second hand, so I'm going to use this. I've also got this polytunnel plastic It's second hand and it's got a few holes in it, but I can cut it up. It will be okay for using for low tunnels. So I'll put this down first just to protect it from the sunlight, and then I'll put the black plastic down over the top of it. This is filled up with a bit of water. It's sort of flattish, but the wind is not helping, so it's sort of roughly flat, so I'm not going to get a big bump under the black plastic. Right, this black plastic is in reasonable nick, but obviously it's second hand, so there are bound to be the odd tears, and you can see that's been taped there, so there are bits of repairs and things, but it'll do to keep the weeds down. It's time to take the plastic out of its bag. There was just a bag that they put around it to protect it. It is quite large and bulky, so it was difficult to manage, and it took me a while to roll it out and get it into place. But that's a bit boring, and I'm not going to show you all of it. I had to be careful not to tear the plastic, especially when I was pulling on the heavy pieces and there were still stumps of weeds, so I didn't want them to go through the plastic. Right, it's bigger than the area I want to cover. I'll have to fold it over. Okay, well that's folded over. I'll weigh down the edges with bricks, logs and anything else that was heavy. Right, that's done now. I mean, it's pretty well secured here. What I might do is, we've got plenty of wood chips, so I might throw some wood chips on top of it a little bit, just to stop the wind billowing underneath it. Don't want to put anything too heavy on it because I don't want to rip the plastic, but something like a bit of wood chips would just give it that little bit of weight. Well, the ground is cleared and covered. It won't be needed this year, so the plastic will help to protect the ground from weeds. Ideally I wouldn't have used plastic, but in an ideal world the weeds would grow slowly and only be a few centimetres tall, but we don't live in an ideal world, so sometimes you have to compromise and do the best that you can. In the next video we'll see why we need to build fruit cages and vegetable cages to protect our crops. Goodbye for now, and come back soon.